went to a poetry reading the other night, and there was several readers, and one of them is a poet that I encounter when I go to these things. Sometimes he's at storytelling, sometimes he's at poetry, but Huascar, he's really, really very, very gentle, very quiet-spoken person, but we saw each other and we said hi, and we had a conversation, and I showed him the little Buddhist scene, and I gave him one. I had some copies to pass out, and he goes away and he comes back and he says, "Here, this is for you." And he hands me this book called Bitten by the Black Snake. And it's 6 sutras by an ancient teacher named Ashtakavara. And he predates Buddha. And the concepts he talks about are they're fairly elevated. I've encountered most of these ideas throughout my studies in philosophy and theology, and I didn't know the name of the person who had kind of voiced them. And that's the text that a lot of other people draw on. And by reading this book, it's put me on the next step of spiritual evolution. And every time I go through a spiritual evolution, every time I hit one of these points where like, bah, it's so intense, I'm evolving, everything is just stripped away for me. Everything is just down to the bones, and I look at life differently, and I look at my spouse differently, and the people I engage with on a daily basis. And it's taken me 50 plus years to get to the point where I can actually grasp and grok these ideas and sit with them. I'm not even going to use the word understand, because it's not even about that. It's sitting with concepts that are ancient and some people would say unknowable if you're not over there sitting on a mountaintop, scratching your belly button and meditating every day. I don't know how to talk about spiritual evolution, because it's something that happens, and either it happens to you or it doesn't. In the last, I'd say 20 years, I've gone from being this petty, egotistical, idealistic, quasi-materialistic. I'm not going to say 100%, because I stopped acquiring things a long time ago. I don't want things, I don't want stuff, I want experiences. So in that essence, I've been a minimalist for a long time, since before Dee Marie and I got together. When we got together, they weren't a minimalist, and they've evolved into one. So it's been really kind of cool watching their evolutionary process, just moving from a material base to a experience-based human being. I feel a lot freer. I feel more exposed and vulnerable, but I feel so much more free than I have in so long, and it's a humbling feeling to know that I don't know anything, to look at you and say, well, I don't have all the answers. I don't have to fix you. I will witness you, I will watch you, I will see where you're at, and feeling where I'm at. And I'm not even basing my life on the past anymore. I'm basing it on where am I at right now. If you've noticed, I'm steering away from using the phrase in the now, because sorry Eckhart Tolle, I really don't agree with it. Be in the now kind of discredits everything else that's going on around you and where you've come from and where you're going. And no, we're not supposed to be in the future, and we're not supposed to be in the past, but that's where we draw our experiences from for our understanding here. And so I've coined it as I'm in the process. So I'm in the process of living. I'm in the process of experiencing. And yeah, I bring all my past with me, and there is a future, but what I can do is utilize those experiences in order to create, be, do in the moment. I've been sitting with that for a couple of days. And that, I think, is really going to help my creative process, because creativity is, you have this idea, poof, and you want to put it in some form: collage, painting, construction, food, zines. You want to do something with it, so you create things, but you have to bring all this knowledge with you that you've learned in order to create. So it's really going to help me with that, I think. Hopefully, that's going into the future.